We're a home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Now, as the controversy stoked by President Akufo-Addo on Founders' Day lingers on, the National Democratic Congress has served notice. It will revert to celebrating the 1st of July as a holiday instead of 4th of August, which was instituted by President Akufo-Addo's led administration. While speaking during his tour of the Upper East region, the flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, said Ghanaians would resist the attempt to rewrite the country's history. President Akufo-Addo, in his address to the nation over the weekend, stated that he completely rejects the notion that Ghana was founded by one person.
It is most appropriate that we have chosen this date to honor their sacrifices, their resilience, and their strong dedication to the ideals of freedom and justice. I speak to you this evening, rejecting completely the notion that Ghana was founded by one man. Whilst Kwame Nkrumah's contributions to our independence are undeniable and unassailable, it is important to acknowledge for our self-respect that the struggle for our nation's freedom was a collective effort spanning several generations. The formation of the Aborigines Rights Protection Society, the British West African National Congress, jointly sponsored by Joseph Casely Hayford and Thomas Hatton Mills, the United Gold Coast Convention, the work of countless unsung heroes, and the tenacious spirit of our people all played vital parts in bringing us to freedom and independence. Kwame Nkrumah, with his charismatic visionary leadership, was undoubtedly a major actor in the final lap of our journey to independence. And that is why, despite the several unfortunate things that happened after independence under his watch, Parliament in 2019 decided to memorialize his date of birth as Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day, the only Ghanaian so far to be so honored in our history.
While former President John Dramani Mahama has served notice that a future NDC government will revert to celebrating the 1st of July as a holiday instead of the 4th of August, which was instituted by President Akufo-Addo. Now, as he wraps up his tour of the Upper East region, this is what he said.
You see, apart from destroying our economy, apart from plunging Ghana into crisis, one of the things this government wants to do is to rewrite our history. And we shall not allow them to rewrite our history. Because the president said he does not accept that one person can be the founder of a nation. Yes, founding a nation, it takes many people, but there's always that critical one person whose sacrifice and efforts is what finally leads to the attainment of the objective that everybody is working for. Nobody can come and rewrite our history. Indeed, for those of you who don't know it, when the Queen finally agreed to give Ghana independence, the UGCC that Nana Akufo-Addo is fighting to be recognized as founders of Ghana wrote a petition. They sent people to England to tell the Queen, don't grant independence, we are not ready yet. And so today you can't come and rewrite our history. July 1st is our Republic Day. And we also made it our Senior Citizens Day. They've come to take the holiday from July 1st and gone to put it on August 4th, which is the day the UGCC was founded. When we come to office, we'll rectify those things. July 1st will be a holiday again.
While the Convention People's Party, in an earlier statement, also criticized the president for his position, insisting Dr. Kwame Nkrumah founded Ghana and no amount of rejection by President Akufo-Addo can change that. Listen to de facto presidential aspirant of the CPP, Frimpong Yao Anochi, on the AM show a while ago.
But NLM was and then wherever they came from. So you see how we say Nkrumah was the founder of the nation, but for Kwame Nkrumah, the UGCC having been dismantled after the 1951 election. In fact, we had 38 seats, and Kwame Nkrumah won 34 seats. Correct. UGCC won 3, independent 1. And after that, they fizzled out. Then the Ashanti people, there is a piece of tribalism in politics. The Ashantis have never liked the Achimebuakwa people. So when they realized Park Grant had become very old, J.B. Dankwa was very preeminent. The Asantehene preferred Kwame Nkrumah to J.B. Dankwa. So when his people would not allow him, they would break away from the CPP. They rather went for Professor Kofi Abrefa Buzia, then an Ashanti. I say then an Ashanti because even though a Bono from Wenchi, at that time, Bono Hafo was Western Ashanti. So they chose their own man. Please, J.B. Dankwa died in 1965. He didn't die in 1954. But the Matimehu tradition, the UP tradition, and the LM tradition did not go for him. Did not go for him. So he became politically irrelevant. Then, because of the troubles, Nkrumah couldn't have independence. And then a new one in 1956.
Selim Brantier and Kwame Sapong Esidu have also been sharing their views on the matter. They back calls for the reinstatement of July 1 as Republic Day.
And let's note that this is a very significant election because that was what triggered all the work that was done to ensure that there was a Republic of Ghana. The initial plan by UGCC and JB Dankwa and the rest was for some kind of loose federation or a pure independence of different aspects of what was then the colonial administration of Gold Coast, where all the assets and liabilities will be divided up and all those states will be independent. But Kwame Nkrumah wanted self-government for the full colony Gold Coast as a single entity, as a united entity. And that is what he fought for, if my history or what I've read is right. And that was what was sent to the Parliament of London and then ratified, to create the 1951 Constitution that made Kwame Nkrumah the leader of government business. And therefore, if you want to understand what the Republic of Ghana is, as a republic, as a constitutional republic with a recognized constitution, then Kwame Nkrumah was it. And then note that in 1951, that was the first time in Africa that an election was done with universal suffrage. That is, all eligible adults participating in the voting, which the likes of UGCC and the rest, they opposed because they wanted a certain elite to only be the ones to make decisions for the rest of the 4 to 5 million people in Ghana.
I'll take you to other countries. I guess you are aware of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic in Morocco, what used to be called Western Sahara. I guess you are aware of Algeria, and they are aware of independence from France. In every country in this world, there have been people who have contributed to the liberation of the people, and we must not take that away from them. I don't think that is the substance of the conversation I am having. My conversation is the entity called Ghana. If you tell me that people contributed to our liberation from colonialism, I agree. 100%, and their efforts should not be disparaged. What I'm saying is their contribution was to our liberation, but to the formation of the country Ghana as we see it today. That was Kwame Nkrumah's thinking, and we cannot take that away from him.
Well, author and playwright Uncle Ibo White has his food for thought on the Super Morning Show.
Dear founder, you would envy the ease and the affluence of those in the first category. They have the power to make life easy for Ghanaians, but they choose not to. They have no problem watching as existing infrastructure breaks down, and they have no appetite for providing the necessary infrastructure where it does not exist. And so, it will distress you to know that not much has been added to the infrastructure you left us after all these years. Dear founder, the plight and the circumstances of the second category of Ghanaians will make you ask yourself whether it was worth fighting for independence for the Gold Coast. In your days, even a penny was money, and the average Gold Coaster could live in dignity. Today, the average Ghanaian does not see his future in Ghana, but in a foreign land. You sacrificed your life and devoted yourself to fight for freedom for the Gold Coaster, so that no Gold Coaster, now Ghanaian, will have to live with indignity. The reality now is that the freed Ghanaian leaves his free country to go and sell himself or hire himself for a pittance in a foreign country, in a country that will never regard him as a full human being, and in countries that will suck every usefulness from them and throw them back to Ghana completely empty. Dear founder, did you fight for independence for the Gold Coast so that Ghanaians will be compelled to abandon their families in Ghana and go slave abroad? Did you fight for independence so that Ghanaians will live as second-class citizens in their own countries? Did you fight for independence so that Ghanaians would go and line up at foreign embassies to beg and lie their way into getting visas? Dear founder, this, unfortunately, is what is happening in Ghana today. Dear founder, we honor you and your colleagues today, but don't be fooled. Yes, we honor you today with a holiday, but we dishonor your legacy every day. Can you please forgive us? And can you find a way of helping us find the wisdom to understand that stealing from our country does not make us rich? You bequeath us a good country, a blessed country, a country with the resources to be prosperous for all her citizens. But alas, greed and selfishness have robbed us of these, and that is why I am writing you today. On this day in which we honor you, please forgive us for making nonsense of the heritage you left for us.
Away from that, the Office of the Special Prosecutor says it has commenced investigations into suspected corruption and corruption-related offences as captured in JoyNews' latest investigative documentary, Porous Borders. Now, the Special Prosecutor has since requested to be furnished with the unedited version of the audiovisual recording of the files used for the documentary to facilitate his own investigation into suspected acts of bribery and corruption by staff of the custom divisions of GRA. By this move, the OSP has become the third public institution to react to the documentary following reactions by Parliament and the Ghana Revenue Authority itself. There's more in this report.
Porous Borders captured in real time corrupt officials of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority at Ghana's eastern border. Following the premiering of the expose, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority on July 31 announced that it has constituted a team to investigate the suspected acts of corruption. Parliament has also reacted to the expose, with ranking member on the Trade and Industry Committee and MP for Bole Bamboy, Yusuf Suleimana, describing the country as quote-unquote sick after watching the undercover investigative piece. The Office of the Special Prosecutor, in its own reaction dated August 2, 2024, announced that it has commenced investigation into suspected corruption and corruption-related offences as captured in the documentary. The Special Prosecutor has since put in official request for the unedited version of the audiovisual recording of the documentary to be made available to his office to facilitate its own investigation into the suspected acts of bribery and corruption as captured in the expose. Producer of the documentary has also been invited by the Special Prosecutor to assist with the investigation as a witness.
Well, the ever-worsening road conditions in the capital have reached a critical point, with malfunctioning traffic lights, unlit streets, and pothole-riddled roads. Well, drivers are forced to navigate in pitch darkness, while pedestrians often bear the consequences. JoyNews' editor, MFR Powell, took a tour of some of the intersections in the capital, here, Accra, and covered the daily struggles and risks faced by commuters. The probe last night on JoyNews channel highlighted the urgent need for an action to address the safety concerns.
So let's start off from this particular intersection and take a drive through part of Accra, at least the most popular part of Accra, and let's understand what exactly the situation is. There are either no road markings, there are no street lights, or the traffic lights are always non-functioning. At least, thankfully, where I'm starting from, which is the home of multimedia, you can see that the lights are working, at least the street lights are working. And it's well lit. It's a well lit road, I should say, thankfully. How come there are no road markings on these particular roads? What exactly are your challenges when you're driving through most parts of Accra? It will be interesting to hear your story. But first, let's hear my story with a drive with a team on a Saturday night in Accra, and we'll tell you how it looks like. So our drive has now taken us all the way, I'll tell you all about it at least, from the Ring Road all the way. We are now on the Switchback Road in Cantonment. I am itching to know what the situation is, at least on the main 37 road. On the Switchback Road, Cantonment, many of you would say, okay, it's not a major road, but there are no street lights here. What you see are those in front of some of the Diplomats building, amongst others. So all the way from the Cantonment Post Office, what we call the Togo Embassy area, all the way to this side, at least. This is what I'm seeing. You can see, together with myself, Yusuf and Abu, this is what we see. So we are almost at the Christ the King parish, and still no sign of any street light, but at least we are seeing some road markings on the road. It does appear that you have to pick and choose which one exactly you would want. But we've had to go 10 all the way. We've gone over the Sankara Circle, what we used to call the Sankara Circle, the Akwaje interchange. And you can see the Jubilee House right in front of you, the seat of government. I see the traffic light working here. Road markings are also working, but see, right after the traffic light, I count 1, 2, and 3, and this is after the third traffic light. You realize that the rest of the street lights are not working. So after the third street light that I counted, we are still in front of the Jubilee House, and all these lights are not working. So just 3 street lights right in front of the Jubilee House are working. After that, all the street lights in front of the Jubilee House, even though in front of the Jubilee House is well lit, the rest all the way to the Afrikiko traffic lights, they are not working.
Well, my colleagues Michael Ashale and Nana Boachi Adam have also been doing their checks on the situation. Back here in Accra, Michael Ashale went to the Tema Motorway, and then in Kumasi, my colleague Nana Boachi Adam went to Seria Junction.
In fact, driving in the night when it's raining is very difficult because there are no road markings. That's why sometimes in the morning, if you drive around town, you will see cars have been parked in the gutters. Why? Because there are no road markings, so they cannot see when you are sliding from this road to the gutter. You know, see before you realize you are in the gutter, and you have no option than to leave your car in the gutter till the next day. And probably if you leave your car there, someone will come and take your batteries and some items from your car. So it is very, very, very difficult to drive in Kumasi at night when it's raining. Very, very difficult. So we are telling the road minister to come and do the road markings for us. We will not beg him, because we the drivers, we pay our duty, we pay everything. The government takes taxes from us, so we are not going to beg him to come and do it for us. We are telling him to come and fix the thing for us. Otherwise, there's no need for us to be paying the roadworthy and so many things.
Very, very alarming and dangerous as well. I think I've been using this road almost about several years now. Motorway going to Adan, Sege, Volta region. And looking at how dangerous it is, very, very, very bad.
What is going on here? There's no street lights, and when the car was coming from Accra to Tema inside, I don't know, because sometimes there's a lot of accidents happening here at the moment, and you yourself, you'll be shocked because of there's no street light. The portals, they just, even when what do you call it, the truck drivers are coming to come across here to drop a lot of things. You see how this place do and things. Yeah. They are be suffering. Then you could see maybe some motor will become or then crash the motor, and then so accidents are always happening here most of the time.
Well, between January and June 2024 alone, 1,237 lives have been lost out of 6,653 road crashes within the same period, largely due to the poor nature of the roads. Director of Regulations, Inspection and Compliance at the National Road Safety Authority, Kwame Kodua-Echiahene, is concerned about the situation.
What we have done, actually, without having to deal directly with the issues, I mean, these are concerns that falls directly on the laps of stakeholder institutions. So you are talking about the Department of Urban Roads, the Highways, Ghana Highways Authority. They have frontline responsibility for the road infrastructure. On matters of street lights, I think in the past there's been an ongoing conversation to try to identify which agency has direct responsibility. To the best of my recollection, it sits with the Ministry of Energy. Because I mean the part of our electricity bills that go to service the street lights come through the ECG to the Ministry of Energy. And it must have been a year or two when we engaged them under some MEDA program they are taking to improve visibility in some parts of the country. In some parts of Greater Accra, the feedback we got at the time was that the portion of our electricity bills that go to service that part of their job appears to be woefully inadequate. But again, I mean, if we can work together as stakeholders, we may not be able to solve all the visibility issues at a go, but we should be able to influence the decision based on data. Get to understand where the issues are happening and what sort of short-term interventions could be put in place.
Well, Principal Research Scientist and Building and Road Research at the Building and Road Research Institute, Dr. William Akam, has attributed the lack of functioning traffic lights, street lights and road markings to government's blatant disregard of the safety and concerns of the people.
This is an unfortunate situation. We all drive around, and this is the daily experience which all of us are experiencing. It's unfortunate that we have all the institutions, we have all the laws, we've come up with the strategies to help reduce accidents in the country, but the basic things we need to put in place, we don't take them seriously. It's unfortunate that you will construct a road which costs millions of cedis. Putting in these measures, putting in this furniture constitutes less than 10% of the cost of the total reconstruction. But we are able to produce the pavement, drivers are able to access it, not safe, it kills people, but we sit down unconcerned. For traffic lights, for instance, if I should talk about Accra, I know they have a traffic management center, which is supposed to also monitor the faults of traffic lights. And so the Department of Urban Roads are aware. What I'm also aware is that they subcontract the maintenance of the traffic lights to some companies. We have to ask whether government has been paying these companies. We all know the problems in the road industry. A lot of contractors are being owned by governments. And so we have to ask whether the non-maintenance of these traffic lights are as a result of the non-payment of the contractors. In all, I think that we've not taken safety seriously. If we should take the street lights, for instance, as they mentioned, at night when crashes occur, the probability of people to die, we've established that is higher
Let's do some politics now. The governing New Patriotic Party has constituted an 11-member committee to oversee the planning and execution of its 2024 manifesto launch, scheduled for August 18, 2024 in Takoradi in the Western region. Well, this makes the NPP the first party to unveil its manifesto ahead of the 2024 general election following the National Democratic Congress campaign launched 2 weeks ago. Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Haruna Mohammed, joins us via Zoom with more on this. Now, walk us through some of the things that we should expect.
Thank you very much. I believe that the New Patriotic Party will forever remain at the pace setters of democracy in Ghana. It clearly indicates how prepared we, the NPP, are. You know, we came from behind to conduct our parliamentary and presidential primaries when we are accused of not getting a running mate. We came from behind again, and we have been able to do so. We also were the first to come out with the vision of the flag bearer of our party on the 7th of February. And his vision was very clear, the direction on which he wants the nation to move towards too. And he also indicated his strength in terms of his assistance to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana. We went ahead to complete our regional tours in terms of the regional capitals. All the 16 regions have been visited by the flag bearer of our party. And he met the various stakeholders to be able to state clearly his vision and how he wants this country, the direction on which he wants to go. Now he has begun his tour of the constituencies, all the 276 constituencies across the country. And today, we are setting a date for the launch of the manifesto of the New Patriotic Party. Remember somewhere we inaugurated a committee for the manifesto where we touched on 20 sectors. 20 clear sectors were touched. Committee members were assigned to come out with proposals and to be able to put together. And today, we have fashioned out this particular manifesto to be launched in Takoradi, where we would be telling the good people of Ghana the direction on which and the social contract that we want to sign with the people of Ghana from 2025 to the next elections that we will go through.
What are some of the key policies that would feature in the manifesto?
The key policies that we'll be looking at would not be so much different from what we did at UPSA. And one good thing is that the flag bearer is so passionate about the policies that he's bringing out. These are policies that he himself personally has backed. And I think that he's going to make sure that he drives these particular policies to its greater conclusion that is going to inure to the benefit of the people of Ghana. One of the key things that we'll be looking at is where we want to leverage the resources of our state to be able to engage the private sector, which sits in tandem with the vision and the formative stage of the New Patriotic Party. And that is where we talk about the property-only democracy and where we have been able to put together to ensure that the private sector is the engine of growth. We are going to make sure that by the vision of the flag bearer, where road infrastructure, school infrastructure, hospital infrastructure that is put up by the state is going to be leveraged and allow the private sector to participate in terms of building of hostels and what have you. Where these resources have been partnered by the private sector, government will be able to redirect the resources into other development states where we'll be able to use it to change the face of the economy. Digitalization of the economy is one of the key things that we have to be looking out. Why do we need digitalization? Look at the implementation of the Ghana card system, the number of ghost names that it has eliminated. Look at how people who take loans and go and pick other loans from other banks. The implementation of this particular digital platform has assisted in many of these particular areas. Look at the impact of interoperability. So Ghana's economy will be driven so much on digitalization, and that is why the vision of the flag bearer is to train 1 million youths in terms of digital platforms, in terms of software development, in terms of coding and all that. You also look at the tax system. The flag bearer is clear that we would have to also drive in the churches as development partners, where we would have to give them incentives in terms of bringing in things to assist in the development of schools. Okay. So the tax system is going to change
tax amnesty is going to reduce, flat rate system is going to also come in. Mechanization of the agri sector is going to be another one key.
So we'll be looking forward to that launch, and I'm sure in subsequent bulletins we would expand the conversation. You're also watching Joy News Today. Well, this afternoon, healthcare delivery at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital grinds to a halt as the strike by allied health professionals enters day 5. The group, consisting of 23 health professional bodies at the hospital, announced a strike on Wednesday, July 31st, demanding a seat at management level of the hospital. At the central laboratory of the hospital, patients needing lab tests are being turned away as the professional bodies say they will not return to work until their demands are met. My colleague Prince Kwame Kuduka is at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital and he joins me live with more. Prince, kindly paint a picture of what is happening currently at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
Okay, first, currently I'm at the laboratory, central lab of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Here at the hospital, you see notices of strikes, red bands here. And then when you enter the hospital, the place is visually empty. You can see that there is no one here. Only this security person here telling patients who are here for services that the place is on strike. We have been speaking to the allied professional bodies of the hospital. They say their demands are simple. They want a seat at the management level of the hospital. All attempts to get the management of the hospital to, listen to their concerns and give them this seat at the management level of the hospital have proven futile. So this strike, they started on the 31st of July, have entered day 5. Yes, so nothing has been heard from the hospital management. And then the here is visually very empty. No services going on. The patients who come here to, seek their lab report, take their lab report or have their lab taken, have all been turned away. I spoke to one patient earlier who told me that he was coming all the way from Abuna State. He have no idea about this strike, and has come in for a lab report and has to be turned away. Go back all the way to Abuna State and come back later for this strike. Having a strain on his finances, So this actually the picture here. Everywhere is empty. You can see no official here. Everywhere is only the security person. We are here to speak to the management of the hospital. Are not willing or are not available to speak. We are also trying to get in touch with the leadership of the allied professional body, which consists of these other professional bodies, including the lab scientists, the optometrists, and all the other professional bodies. Yes, they are here to speak to us positively.
Thank you. Prince Kwame Kuduka is a Joy News reporter. Now we're taking a quick breather. We'll be back with business. Just stay tuned in.
Welcome back to Business on Joy News Today. My name is Winston Taki, and now to our first business story. Telecommunication company has recorded an increase in revenue of 8.1 billion Ghana cedis for the first half of 2024. This represents a 31.1% jump over the 6.1 billion that it recorded by the end of June 2023. The mobile operator announced this in its financial performance for the first 6 months of the year ending 2024. Here's more.
MTN in the financial statement explained that the growth in revenue was driven by higher data usage, mobile money and digital revenue supported by enhanced 4G connectivity and a 3.9% year-on-year expansion in the subscriber base. According to the company, data revenue continued to grow strongly, up by 55% year-on-year to 4 billion cedis. This was supported by a 15.9% year-on-year increase in active data subscribers and a 7.2% year-on-year rise in megabytes consumed per active user per month, which underpinned a 24.2% year-on-year growth in data traffic in the period. The contribution of data revenue to total service revenue increased from 41.5% to 49% year-on-year. Mobile money revenue increased by 44.8% year-on-year to 1.9 billion cedis. This was supported by a 16.2% year-on-year increase in the active user base as it continued to improve on digital financial solutions offering.
Now, away from that, replacing a phone is a responsibility. Many defer until it's too late when screens crack or phones are lost due to the rising cost and financial constraints. Credit More's new Ascent policy steps in to change that, offering a flexible financial solutions that simplifies replacing old devices and keeping up with the latest technology without the stress. There is more in the following report.
Of losing your phone or having the screen suddenly develop a fault can be overwhelming, especially when faced with the high cost of a new device. In Ghana, this challenge is all too common. But now, there's a game-changing solution on the horizon. Credit More has launched an innovative product called Ascent, designed to make smartphone ownership accessible to everyone, regardless of their financial situation.
Credit More is a buy now, pay later company or consumer financing company, and what we do is to give things to people for them to pay later.
Managing Director of Credit More, Gerald Yitamki, explained it was a simple process.
All Android phones are part of the portfolio. We have Techno, we have Samsung, we have Infinix, we have all the phones that people are using in Ghana. For now, we don't have iPhones, but we hope that maybe later we can add iPhones to the products that we have in the phone. And the payment that you have to make daily are not much. You can pay as low as 9 Ghana cedis a day or about 20 Ghana cedis in a week. Also, we have several plans.
Credit More has partnered with shops nationwide to make this vision a reality. Gerald Yitamki says patrons will simply need a Ghana card and an active mobile money account.
The ordinary Ghanaian with only a Ghana card to be able to get a phone of their choice and pay daily or weekly or monthly. So basically what we are doing is affordability for smartphones and accessibility. We make it affordable for anyone with any income level. All what you need is a Ghana card and make it also accessible for everyone to be able to own a smartphone. Right, so at the moment we have an office in Kumasi, in Asokwa, we are also in Tamale, we are in Accra at Rage, and we are opening up, we are in KJB, we are in Takoradi, we have outlets throughout the country. And we are going to open more outlets going forward.
Credit More's Ascent policy is a lifeline for many Ghanaians, providing an accessible pathway to owning the latest devices. The initiative is designed to help people stay connected, productive, and up to date with technology without the accompanying financial strain. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
That'll be all for business. My name is Winston Taki. We have more news for you after this break. Stay tuned.